There's a certain solitude associated with big game hunting. A lone hunter huddles against a tree in absolute silence. He waits, acutely aware of all of his surroundings. Listening, looking. He's straining to see every movement and to hear a sound in the far distance. Hey, but it don't always have to be that way. This is a caribou hunt, Gander mountain style. You see, me and my rowdy friends were sharing a remote outpost in northern Quebec. Hey, we got the whole camp to ourselves and about 10,000 miles of tundra to chase caribou on. We're gonna hunt hard, but we're gonna have some fun along the way, I guarantee that. 1, 2, 3. It's coming up next, right here on Gander Mountains. We Live Outdoors with me, Michael Waddell. Gander Mountains, We Live Outdoors with Michael Waddell is brought to you by Evolved Habitat, building better wildlife. Stealth Cam, unrivaled scouting camera technology. Ameristep, quality hunting from the ground up. Buck Bomb, the Buck Bomb blows away traditional scents. Federal Premium Ammunition, every shot counts. Walker's Game Ear, the #1 choice for hearing protection and sound amplification. Smith & Wesson, a tradition of quality and innovation since 1852. You know, a caribou hunt, man, it can be easy or it can be hard. It's really all about timing. If you pick the right camp during the migration period, you literally can have bulls running past your cabin. Now, if you miss this migration, you might as well be hunting woolly mammoths because you got about just as good a chance of seeing one of them old boys. Yes, sir.
Have a good trip. If there's anything, give me a call. I speak to the camps every night. All right? Have a good trip, guys.
Yes, sir. We got it like a roller coaster ride in the back country of Quebec. When the guys at Gander Mountain and I flew from Montreal all the way up to the Ungava Bay in the Baffin Sea, I felt like we were almost to the Arctic Ocean. In fact, we were. Hey! So yeah, you know, we were kind of pumped up and all about this adventure. Safari Nordique's camp in May Lake, it feels like one of them old jump-off spots for Arctic explorers like old, you know, Robert Peary or that Anne Bancroft. For us hunters, it just means that we're on the northern edge of the caribou range. So if they haven't started migrating south yet, hey, that's fine with us as long as they're hanging out around May Lake. I'm here with Mike Curry. He's my boss at Gander. Nick Chado, who worked for Outdoor Expeditions, and Eric Vanderhoof. He pretty much runs all the Gander Mountain stores down south of my neck of the woods. We got 2 tags each. We can use a bow, rifle, or muzzleloader. We even was able to get a few tags for our cameraman, old Nick Munt. Eric and I, we're going to try to pop a few poking youngs with a bow first off, so we got to shoot our bows a little bit to make sure they made the ride.
So we got in, everybody unpacked, and we were geared up and ready to go. Unpacked our bows and went outside and started sighting them in right away.
That was right there, brother.
Woo! Well, as you can imagine, the adrenaline is kind of running high. And that first night at camp, sometimes it can be a little rowdy. This right here is Eric Vanderhoof's first official caribou hunt. It's also his first big game hunt out of the country, so he's getting all primed up and ready. He's tipping his arrows right here with some brand new razor-sharp broadheads, and he's leaving nothing to chance. He's even taking some of his Sportsman's Edge vitamins.
Safari Nordique up here in Quebec, one of our outdoor expeditions, gateway destinations. It was just really exciting. It was something I always wanted to do. So when I got the call to do this, just super, super pumped. And then, on top of that, find out that it's a Michael Waddell hunt as well. And I've just been super pumped for quite some time now to come up here and get this done.
And I was excited, man. Vanderhoof was committed. He wanted to get a caribou with a bow, which I'm a bow hunter at heart, so I was kind of glad to see him, take some passion and wanting to make sure he aired one of these big old hard horn monsters. We get to camp, to meet the guides, and I didn't know exactly what to expect, if it was going to be French Canadians or what the deal was going to be for guides, but first person we meet is a guy named Matthew. Kiwi, we later called him, from New Zealand, mate. He had a stranger voice than I did. Everybody picks on my accent when I come north, but we had somebody else to pick on in camp.
Yeah, and obviously I talk a bit different from most people around here, so I cop a bit of stick for my accent, but when Michael Waddell turned up, it took the emphasis off me for a while, because that man is strange. I can't understand a word he says.
We were across May Lake in Glass and Caribou. The hunt is on.
The first day was going to be good. We were going to be on caribou, and I told Eric, we need to get it done today because you can't guarantee that these caribou will be here tomorrow. Let's go ahead and fill some tags.
And just skylined everywhere. Caribou were just everywhere, and it just felt like we were pushing them. So finally, Michael said, you know what, we just need to sit down and wait and see what happens. And
right off that blind point, so we've been watching them cross all morning.
Right there.
Hey, let's just say you're probably getting anybody in bushes right there.
That's
See that pair pinches down? Let's take Kiwi. Let's do it. If you'll wait and be patient, sometimes it might take 30 minutes or a couple hours, but sooner or later, they're going to use that crossing again because they feel safe. All the other caribou will come through there. That's what we decided to do. Rather than just pogo back and forth, we got in one spot and we just sat down and was waiting on the nice caribou to come across. Caribou coming right at us. From our left over here, cows.
What's that?
You can see Eric get him one. The bow, bam!
And sure enough, caribou just kept crossing. They were literally walking right up to us. We had them coming to our left, 15, 25 yards, and we had them coming to our right, 10 yards away from us.
I was nervous. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I mean, I'd seen Eric shoot the target, but when this caribou hit the water, we knew it was a nice one, big, wide caribou. He's swimming across, and the trail that he was gonna take, we felt pretty confident was gonna lead him by about 10 yards.
Heart pumping, throbbing, I'm shaking, and anybody who's ever whitetail hunted or anything, any kind of big game, you know the feeling. Oh yeah, awesome. My first caribou. Way up in the tundra in Quebec, my first caribou with Michael Waddell. How cool is that? I didn't know what to do. I didn't know to cheer. I just didn't know. It was crazy. It was awesome.
Man, that's awesome.
Thanks, brother.
Good shot.
He is pretty. That's a pretty good spread.
Look at that.
Not bad.
Nothing wrong with that.
Really solid
Show
shot.
on him. It's just a solid caribou. Got good front.
First one, just the third point coming right there.
You the man. Hey, we still got a lot more to shoot.
Yes, sir.
This is just the first
You bet.
of many to come. Eric had gotten it done, and we were pumped, man. I mean, this was a big deal. First caribou with a bow and arrow, and for all of us to be sitting there watching on camera, and he got it done, man. I can imagine the emotion. I was proud of him. Yeah, big brother Eric got his first caribou. First one. Laid it down, Eric got it. Yeah. I was up now. I mean, Eric had one down, so it was my turn. And being that I'd had the chance to hunt caribou a little bit in the past, I was really hoping for a nice bull. We didn't see a lot of caribou, but we did right away spot one pretty good bull. and definitely this bull was right at Pope and Young, and we knew it was worthy of a stalk.
He's feeding away. It's got not, he ain't migrating real hard. He just kind of walking, feeding, milling around.
It was tough. I mean, it was open, and it wasn't an ideal situation for bow hunting. Wide open country, some big rocks, some small shrubs, and we were just using everything we could. Finally, we got this bull within 50, 60 yards. I was so aggravated. Here come old bully. Old mature bull comes running up over the corner and runs this bull just clean to Mississippi. We thought it was done. And we look up, and right down in the valley, this caribou had run a couple hundred yards and stopped in this little depression by this little pond. We were getting closer and closer every rock. My heart was beating, and it was like I was about to shoot the first animal I'd ever shot with a bow. About that time, he starts to walk. Hey, but we live outdoors. If he was mine, I might as well go and get my tag. Whoa! Look at this. Look at this, Brother Nick. Pretty. He's wide, he got good tops on him. Nice and palmated out. For me, it was cool to have everybody there. Caribou hunting is cool because you can go and kind of party hunt. You got your buddies right there with you, and we were just so excited. Everybody's rooting each other on, and it was cool to high-five with Eric and Kiwi and all the guides, and Nick came down, and just, you know, just to be there with my buddies when I got this caribou. We almost had him back there at the deal, and some just bully of a bull with big old hockey. That was so much fun.
It's only the second day of our hunt, and I'm sitting there soaking it all in, feeling like Fred Bear. And then I look up.
Hey, there's one right there.
He goes, man, there's another caribou right over there. It looks like a good bull. And sure enough, we glassed it, and it was an awesome looking bull, double shovels. We packed up our stuff. Nick grabbed the camera, I grabbed the TC, and off we went around the lake.
If you don't want to go, I'll go, but I think he's going. The camera's still sitting there, and Eric is striking off. He's ready to go stalk this bull, so Nick falls in.
He's somewhere up on the other side. We lost sight of him as we got up here, but I'm sure we can get 100 yards of him at least.
This time, Eric had left the bow back at camp, and he had the Thompson Center Pro Hunter 300 mag. This one was in trouble. It wasn't getting away. We was gonna see what he could do with that gun, though.
That was a rush. Holy mackerel.
Wow. I mean, one shot, this bull is out.
Look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, man. It couldn't be better. Man, this is the best experience I've ever had hunting. What do you think?
He had shot in a good bull with his bow, and now he had lowered a boom with that Thompson Center, and he had filled out in Quebec. Man, I was pumped. I was excited to know that he had gotten it done. I was proud of him.
Now, you might think that 2 big old bulls in one day, well, that'd be enough for any hunting party. Not here, though. Safari Nordique, it provided everybody with 2 tags. I mean everyone, including the cameraman, Nick Munt. And our guide, Rick, he insisted that Nick get out there and try to fill his tag, too.
wiggle my way over there and see if I can't stick him right behind the shoulder. To us, the wind's kind of quartering like this. We should be able to get on. He's been standing there for quite a while. He's just kind of got his head down.
Well, Nick's been a good buddy of mine for many years, and he's one heck of a hunter. So I had complete confidence that Nick right here, he was going to be coming home with plenty of caribou meat. Nick pushed that caribou halfway around May Lake, but he wasn't going to give up, no sir.
Yeah, what an awesome stock that was. Got the boys up on the hill up there. Woo!
Doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, that's for a better one. Got within about 6 yards. That was cool, man. That was cool. Look at there. Perfect shot. All right, thanks guys. Appreciate it.
With a boat full of hides and horns, we almost had to leave our cameraman Nick behind. What a day it had been for folks who love to hunt.
All right, brace yourselves.
Here we go! Rip it. Get me some horse flat, mate!
These food oars, get in the stealth position.
Throw her on, plank her on up, mate! Forward again!
Which way's
I tell you, that's a good hunt.
Well, Curry, he laid the smack down. That caribou looks bushed, eh?
I think what was cool about this camp, nobody was really, there was no egos. Nobody was trying to outdo each other. Nobody was trying to kill the biggest bull. You know, we were all just having fun, hanging together, camaraderie, laughing. That's what's special about a good hunting camp like this, when you leave your egos at home and it's all about that camaraderie and just having fun with your buddies.
3 sets of kings.
No, he got good. But I got...
When the camera was on!
And it's all about that camaraderie and just having fun with your buddies. That's what living outdoors is all about.
This segment is brought to you by Arctic Cat. More to go on. You know, when you talk about caribou hunting, most of the time you're going to be talking North Country, either Alaska or in this case, Quebec, up as far Nordique. And you got to remember, anytime you're talking about North Country, you need a lot of different gear, and you need the right gear because it can be brutal. The elements can be really tough. And one thing, when you're hunting caribou, there's 2 or 3 different ways you're going to be hunting. It could turn into a spot and stalk, or it could turn into something where you're sitting behind a bush, hidden very well, like you need a good camo. Well, here's a prime example. I mean, even though we talk about rain gear a lot, this H2O right here, or this Tech 2O, I guess you'd say, by Guide Series, is one of my favorites, mainly because it's so packable, man. You can throw that in any pack, even a fanny pack, but it keeps you dry, it keeps you warm, and it also makes a great windbreaker, you know, when that cool Arctic air starts blowing on you. But if you're going to take something that light that you can pack for rain, you find me a jacket. There's a nice jacket in my size. You also need to make sure you get enough clothing that you layer really good. You know, for a first layer, I like either some type of silk garment or some polyester blended fabric, but what makes a great second layer is this Creekside fleece right here. It's really not terribly expensive, it's lightweight, And fleece is also a good moisture wicking material, but it's also very warm and very quiet. And what I do sometimes, I'll get maybe a large for my first layer to kind of keep it snug, and then the second time I maybe buy extra large, and I actually put 2 of these on depending on how cold it gets. But from there you can put on a heavy parka or the lighter weight rain gear, and it works perfect. And if you're going to be spending this much time and money gearing up for a caribou hunt in Canada, make sure you make the right call, and that is calling Outdoor Expeditions and booking you a hunt with Safari Nordique. Gander Mountains, We Live Outdoors with Michael Waddell is brought to you by Rocky. No matter where your hunt takes you, get geared up with Rocky boots and apparel at Gander Mountain. Scent Blocker, Scent Shield. Forget the wind, just hunt. Arctic Cat, more to go on. Real Tree Jerky. Don't leave home without Real Tree Jerky. Real Tree, family, friends, and the outdoors. Outdoor Expeditions, Gander Mountain's premier travel service.
I love to see you in the morning sun. I love to feel you in the heat of night without you.
Send that to the chicks. See what this is right there. It's the real deal.
Hey, there is nothing that says romance like saltwater fishing and halibut slime on your hands. Be sure to join us next week where we got a honeymooning couple that's fallen in love with salmon and bottom fishing all along Alaska's famed Inside Passage. I think it's fair to say that every married couple, well, they strive to put a little romance in their lives, especially when they're taking that long-awaited honeymoon. And for somebody like me, there ain't nothing that says romance like the smell of salt water in the air, a little fish slime on your hands, and bait fish that's aging in the sun. And that's what we have for you today. Join a couple of my good friends from Gander Mountain. They're heading north to Craig, Alaska in search of salmon, halibut, and honeymooning. That's next, right here on Gander Mountains, We Live Outdoors with me, Michael Waddell. Gander Mountains, We Live Outdoors with Michael Waddell is brought to you by Evolved Habitat, building better wildlife. Stealth Cam, unrivaled scouting camera technology. Ameristep, quality hunting from the ground up. Buck Bomb, the Buck Bomb blows away traditional scents. Federal Premium Ammunition, every shot counts. Walker's Game Ear, the #1 choice for hearing protection and sound amplification. Smith & Wesson, a tradition of quality and innovation since 1852. Today, my friends Joe and Nicole Woodward, where they're going up to Craig, Alaska, with Rob Inslee, their guide of Inslee's Pacific Northwest Sport Fishing. They're going to be searching the deep, cold salt waters off the coast of the Prince of Wales Island in southeast Alaska. Now, the Woodwards, well, they've been married for quite a spell now, but with work and grad school and everything else in life, this is their first chance to go on a honeymoon. Now, I hear tell that some young brides, well, they think places like Hawaii or Paris, now that might be romantic to them. Now, I think that's just strange. And the cool thing about it, so does Nicole Woodward. For her and Joe, this is a dream come true.
Just like a pictured Alaska, cool and cloudy.
I love it. Our dream was to come to Alaska for our honeymoon and fish and enjoy the scenery and spend time together. But I jumped into grad school and he jumped into work and traveling, so there was never really a chance for us to do that. And our lives just kind of got away from us. So I graduated in May, and our lives kind of slowed down a little bit, and Gander gave us the opportunity to come out here and spend some time and fish and enjoy the scenery and experience Alaska, and so we jumped on it.
There she is.
Good morning.
What's up, Rob?
Good.
The days they start early here in Craig. Fishing boats typically leave the dock around 6 a.m. It's a bit of a jaunt to the fishing grounds.
I was so jazzed to come to Alaska. I'd seen video of all the fish that people catch here and the rugged terrain and the beautiful landscape. I personally didn't know what to expect out of Ketchikan and Craig. And
the waters around Prince of Wales Island just teem with fish in the summer months. Literally millions of salmon, halibut, lingcod, and snapper make it home.
And we've got about maybe an hour run to where we're going, so we'll be going through the islands here. There'll be lots of whales, and sea otters, and wildlife along the way, so lots of stuff to check out there. And like I said, about an hour run or so, and we'll get to work here.
Perfect. That sounds great.
For you, so it's more about the experience than just the fishing. Of course, the fishing's great. But if you just enjoy the outdoors and enjoy the marine environment, you're really going to love this place. Don't set the hook right away until that rod is just solid.
Okay.
And once the rod is solid, give it a good hook set, and that's about it.
All right.
And we'll learn on the fly from there.
But the fishing was well worth it,
Yes, I'm the winner.
at least for the bride. Her first fish strikes fast.
Oh, this is not a walleye or a bass. Oh, my God. Oh, it lost. No. Yes. Oh, it broke.
oh, I got him good.
All right.
King and silver salmon, well, they gorge on bait fish in
All right.
preparation for their journey upriver to spawn.
All right.
Nice.
On the board, guys. Good job.
I wanted him to get the first one because I knew that mine was going to be so much bigger. So that's kind of what that was all about.
And away, Joe.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
Nice coho there, buddy.
Very cool.
Yeah, man.
Look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah, he beat you to it, Nicole.
I know.
Sorry, hon.
That's all right.
This segment is brought to you by Federal Premium Ammunition. Every shot counts.
Let me get the net. Being able to come up here and spend so much quality time with the woman I love up in the great Alaskan outdoors has been quite an experience.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Nicole always got to show me up, huh?
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just kind of it feels like a once in a lifetime, even though there'll be more opportunities, but maybe a first in a lifetime, and it's a little overwhelming in a good way, just to be experiencing nature in that kind of a different way that you haven't before. It's pretty cool. Coming from people who are experienced in bass fishing and walleye fishing, that first bite was kind of a shock. It was a pretty heavy thing. A lot of power on the fish out here, way more than we've ever seen in Minnesota, so that was pretty cool. That's a big one, like, oh my goodness. Oh man.
Yeah.
Good job.
Seriously? Wow. Thank you. Fun, yeah.
Imagine what a big one does.
Goodness gracious, make bass feel like minnows.
Poor old Joe. The game is on.
I told you I gave Joe the first one so that I could kind of I could steal the spotlight later.
What can I say? I'm the teacher, you know? It's always good to see your pupil do well.
Your pupil. Definitely where the sport part comes into this. All athletics here. Just about.
The ocean floor is alive with halibut. They're average in size anywhere from 20 to 60 pounds. But you can find some as big as barn doors. I'm talking 200 pounds or more.
Good luck to you, friend.
Yeah.
Oh.
Breathe.
My
Job,
goodness.
stretch
Thank
out
you.
or anything?
Yeah.
There we go.
Stretch out those triceps.
Look at those pipes.
I know. Wow. Oh.
These fish were hanging in the deep water, as much as 250 foot down. Those ugly suckers, well, they lie on the bottom and they just wait for food to swim by.
I tell you what, this is awesome. I fish a lot, but this sort of fight I have never encountered. This is fun. It's a lot of fun. And the workout.
Yeah.
This one's actually taking line, so I think we might have a keeper here. So let's see what we got.
Halibut, they're odd fish. Both their eyes are located on the same side of their face. You know, kind of like my old cousin Kenny. Come to think of it, they're a lot like Kenny. They don't work, they just lie around on the bottom all day.
Throw that one in there.
All right.
That'll work.
Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that.
Wow.
That is a nice one.
Nice.
Oh,
Good job, Nicole.
I love it. Thank you. So cool.
I'm used to finesse fishing for walleye and to a certain degree bass, so coming up here it was quite a shock to actually have to dig that thing in your gut and just ream on it. Let's see what we got.
Oh, wow.
Like I said, never know what you're gonna get.
These sea dogs are only found in the west coast of North America, from Alaska to Baja California. They can weigh over 80 pounds and measure 60 inches. That's near about 5 foot. That is according to my Georgia math.
Looks like a walleye on steroids right there.
It's only a mother could love right there.
Right. Oh, yeah?
Like I said, you never know what you're gonna expect, and that is a bizarre looking fish, but I'm sure it tastes good.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna wear a hole in my stomach here.
Want that belt, Joe?
That wouldn't be the worst idea.
Ooh.
Thought I was coming up here to relax. What's the story? About midway through the day on a Saturday morning, I hooked into a big fish. As always, as the theme goes here, I had no idea what it was. Nice. Excited to see it.
Here, buddy.
Going for a run right now. The battle that ensued was something I had never experienced before.
Ooh. We're down to 100, 120, 125. We could go. Oh, no way.
117 right now. Man, this guy can fight. This is awesome. Jeez. Wow. This is awesome. Quite a challenge to get that fish in, and as soon as I saw it and saw the massive size of that thing, was awesome. Wow. Look at that fish.
Cow.
There's good reason to see old Joe struggling with this fish. This is a trophy right here.
Nice. Woo!
Yeah.
Look at that. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Nice work. To find out that it's tough to catch those things this time of year and that actually could be considered a trophy king salmon was awesome, and it was definitely the highlight of my trip. Just what I thought Alaska would be right here.
Good job.
That was a rush. Oh my God.
Good job, dude.
A lemon of halibut, lean cod, coho, and trophy king salmon. What more could you ask for on the first day of a honeymoon?
Well, I think that was an amazing day. I was floored with the scenery, the fish. The highlight for me was that king salmon, but I tell you what, I'm a bit pooped from pulling all those fish off the bottom, so let's go get something to eat.
Yeah, let's go up to Ruth Ann's, get a bite, and get some rest, get ready for tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Let's go.
This segment is brought to you by Realtree, family, friends, and the outdoors.
It's been a dream of ours for so long to be able to come up here and experience Alaska and some different kind of wildlife. And spend some time together just away from our hectic lives and away from the city and away from commitments, and just to be up here together and sharing in something that we love so much back home and on such a different scale. It's just been an incredible experience for us. Look at this tracking. Wow. Oh, good Lord.
How beautiful is that?
Good job. Good job.
Doing good, Nick.
Oh, nice. It's just been awesome. I mean, I have nothing but positive memories of our time so far in Alaska. So. Look at that one. That's a big one.
There you go. Okay. I'm excited to see what this looks like.
Let's see. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh. Oh, look at those. Look at that color.
Pretty neat fish.
That's a really cool fish.
A beautiful Alaskan silver salmon. Gorgeous fish.
Yeah.
Never know what you're gonna get.
Got him. Nice.
All right.
Woo!
Here's another one.
Look at that. How awesome is that? Double up, do-si-do. right.
Sweet.
Now that is a workout. What's going on, Nick? You got halibut Maximus?
I think I do.
Awesome job, nice.
Thanks, you too.
Nice. What is that?
Wow, Joe, good fish.
Beautiful.
Closed captioning provided by 10 Point Crossbows, the mark of perfection. Joe, you know I've eaten my fair share of salmon and even halibut, but I've never fished for them. I mean, where would you even begin to start gearing up if you're getting ready to go to Alaska to fish for them?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you asked that. I had a lot of the same questions. So what I did first was go online, and then I actually called Captain Rob Ensley, who I'm going to be fishing with. And the surprising thing is you don't have to bring a whole lot. And actually, it's better the less gear you bring, because that just means more fish you can bring back.
I got you.
So really, the gear's provided, the bait's provided. All we need to do is worry about good rainwear. Yeah, you do not want to get wet. All right, this looks like the rainwear right here we're looking for.
This is what y'all had on you and your wife here?
Yep, the Tech 2.0 made by Guide series. You know, the nice thing about it was just that perfect weight where, you know, it could be 55 and rainy or it could be 60 and windy, and I was comfortable either way. So it kept me dry through the whole trip, and it was perfect.
You know, it's funny, this rain gear now, the technology in it has gotten so unbelievable, because even when it's not raining, it's just a good windbreak. Even if it's not wet outside, it's still a good garment to wear. And what I noticed too, you know, I'm a big hunter, but I also like to do a little fishing, but I saw this same garment pretty much right over here in the hunting section in camo, so you could buy it in camo and still fish in it. But you got you something here you can wear to the ball games too, so it's pretty cool. A lot of diversity in these garments nowadays.
I love them.
Sweet.
Here we go, Michael. This is exactly the boot I had. This is the Guide Series boot. It's actually made by Rocky, but it was a perfect boot. It was nice and comfortable. I mean, another surprising thing you don't think about is you're standing on your feet all day when you're fishing, so this kept my feet comfortable, my feet dry.
Right on, man. Well, if you're going to be out there fishing or hunting, you got to have some cool stomps, especially in your case, because those halibut, you know, when they get right on the bottom, you got to get a grip so you can pull them on out of there.
You got it.
Gander Mountains, We Live Outdoors with Michael Waddell is brought to you by Rocky. No matter where your hunt takes you, get geared up with Rocky boots and apparel at Gander Mountain. Scent Blocker, Scent Shield. Forget the wind, just hunt. Arctic Cat, more to go on. Real Tree Jerky. Don't leave home without Real Tree Jerky. Real Tree, family, friends, and the outdoors. Outdoor Expeditions, Gander Mountain's premier travel service.
Learned a lot about Alaskan fishing, saw some great wildlife, some great scenery, and I don't know, I had a blast fishing. How about you?
Yeah, it was awesome. Tons to see, tons to do. We caught lots of fish, lots of different fish. That was fun. The whales and the otters and the sea lions and the mountains. I mean, it was endless things to look at and take in. It was a pretty incredible way to spend a few days away from home.
I agree.
Yeah, I had a great time.
It's more about the experience than just the fishing. Of course, the fishing's great, but if you just enjoy the outdoors and enjoy the marine environment, you're really going to love this place.
Spectacular species, spectacular scenery. One place has them both. That's New Zealand. 2 Gander Mountain associates chase Himalayan tar and chamois in the Southern Alps next week on We Live Outdoors. With the abundance of cable channels devoted to travel and nature, there's not too many places TV viewers haven't been or too many animals they haven't seen. So when our cameras followed two Gander Mountain associates to New Zealand, we were all just blown away with the spectacular scenery and the game provided by this little-known country.
But to be here in person and experience it, it's something that every man, woman, and child should get to do at one point in their life.
Himalayan tar, red stag, and chamois, well, they're not really household words when it comes to big game circles. But to the high alpine hunter, they provide all the same thrills of any North American species. And you're gonna see why. It's all coming up next on Gander Mountain's We Live Outdoors with me, Michael Waddell. Gander Mountain's We Live Outdoors with Michael Waddell is brought to you by Evolved Habitat, building better wildlife. Stealth Cam, unrivaled scouting camera technology. Ameristep, quality hunting from the ground up. Buck Bomb, the Buck Bomb blows away traditional scents. Federal Premium Ammunition, every shot counts. Walker's Game Ear, the #1 choice for hearing protection and sound amplification. Smith & Wesson, a tradition of quality and innovation since 1852.
If you've got one of those places I've got to go before I die list, New Zealand should definitely be at the top. Really, from the scenery to the animals, even to the culture, everything about this place is really cool and unique. And the coolest thing for the big game hunter, it adds a whole new category of elusive targets.
For a country with more sheep than people, they sure got a good environment for both. New Zealand's geography includes every climate on Earth. With a mountain range on the west, tropical beaches on the north, and glaciers on the south, you'll get a lot of diversity in a small package. That goes for the game too. The Himalayan tar, well, it came to New Zealand as a domestic animal in the 1800s. But the snow-capped mountains and moderate temperatures, well, they were the perfect environment for the tar to thrive in their natural state. Today, while they're endangered in Asia, well, they're abundant all along the southern Alps in New Zealand.
Here we are standing in the Rangitata Valley on the South Island of New Zealand. Behind me, you will see the majestic Southern Alps. This is the home of the Himalayan tar and chamois.
And yet another transplant that's doing well here is the chamois. It was introduced as a gift from an Austrian emperor in 1907. Again, the climate and the rugged mountains had allowed them to thrive. Now, they're so abundant that hunting is unrestricted in most all areas.
At Kiwi Safaris, we pride ourselves on the fact, as native-born New Zealanders, we can show off our hunting to the rest of the world. The hunting in New Zealand today is better than it's been in the last 30 to 40 years.
Now that's exactly why Mike Scobie and Mark Brizard from Gander Mountain are here. No, not here in the restroom, here in the town of Geraldine on the South Island. It's the starting point for tar and chamois hunts with Kiwi Safaris, one of Outdoor Expedition's premier destinations. Guides Richard Jordan and James Mitchell give a quick tour before taking their clients up the mountain for their 5-day hunt.
Now, Buzz and I both have a knack for really liking to travel to different exotic locations, have a good time hunting and fishing, and this kind of trip was really a dream come true for the both of us.
We're proud of our Outdoor Expeditions offering in world-class locations all across the world. And we pick a certain special group of around 15 locations that we think are just the cream of the crop. Kiwi Safaris happens to be one of those.
When we return, you'll see how they hunt goats upside down in the land down under.
This segment is brought to you by Federal Premium Ammunition. Every shot counts.
We started off, my first morning hunt was, of course, the tahr, my dream animal. We headed out at the crack of dawn, way up into the hills. Well, we're making our way up a mountain here. We're trying to get to the top so we can get to a point and get out and start stalking.
You know, the first day when we went out, you know, the big objective was to get a tahr. And Buzz, you know, being the bow hunter, and it's going to take a lot of time. In fact, it's very doubtful whether or not he's going to get a tahr with a bow. Like I said, only a handful of guys have done that. So the first day I said, let's hunt tahr. I want you to get a tahr more than anything else.
The Southern Alps of New Zealand, where they top out at 7,000 feet, which is really misleading because, see, you start your ascent at sea level, so it's a 7,000-foot climb.
I've done this before.
Guide Richard Jordan, well, he's going through all of this trouble because the best way to hunt tahr with a bow is to hunt downhill. And the only way you can do that, well, you got to start at the top.
When you get a person in that's been there, the whole dream to come to New Zealand and to shoot a tahr, it puts a bit of pressure on the guide, and we're there to do our very best.
Right off the bat, probably within the first hour, we spotted a group of tahr and put a stalk on, and it was, I'll tell you, it was incredible. We were walking 45 degrees, doesn't describe the pitch on the side of those hills we were coming around. Rocky, snowy, it was just really, really cool. It was a great experience. And you can't have a faint heart when you're up top like that, coming down on an animal. The whole time you're looking down 2,000 or more feet to the bottom, and you look at the rock piles down there and you know how they got there.
Probably not mature enough. It's probably around 11.5 inch ball, but Cape's not up to it. But I think we'll let him go, eh? We're going to see some better balls. Yeah. Let him grow up for a couple of years.
We pitched up and got out of there and got back and moved probably somewhere around 5 miles from where we were first located. Scobie and Mitch took a point to the north, and then Rich and I headed south.
So we decided to sit and just glass, and they just appear from nowhere sometimes.
Meanwhile, Mike, Scobie, and Mitch were there glassing the opposite side of the mountain.
You know, and I peek over the ridge, and there is a tahr literally 20, 25 yards in front of us. You can just see his horns sticking out of the grass. You don't get opportunities like that very often. To be able to sneak up behind one, it was just a perfect opportunity for Buzz. And Mitch turns to me and says, "God, I wish Buzz was here. He could get this one really easily with a bow." I said, let's go get him.
So Rich and I picked up and we moved. I'm not sure what the distance was. It was probably a mile or two.
We got to it, we're still laying down.
Animals never knew we were there. Had a nice breeze going. I knocked an arrow, set it up, and stood up and drew back. Hopefully the animal just noticing me behind him and would get up easy and give me a shot.
It worked out pretty good.
I couldn't tell. I think I was low. So he jumped up, he got out there further. I was thinking 22.
He's the front one, isn't he?
Yep. And initially thought that I was a little too low. I mean, and when I fired, I didn't feel super good about the shot. I had some hope, and couldn't believe I'd missed if I did.
With a heavy-coated animal like a tar, the actual penetration point, well, it's really hard to judge. Man, Buzz was feeling the pain of a missed opportunity and possibly that of a wounded animal.
Yeah, I screwed that one up.
I didn't give you much of a...
Well, it was an absolutely perfect opportunity. He's completely broadside. The heart started pumping again. There was a little bit of blood on the arrow and a little bit of evidence that we might have made a good shot there.
Scobie, hear that we got blood.
My buddy Scobie, I usually call him Blind Dog Scobie, who can't see the back of a barn. He spotted some blood.
There's plenty of blood there, huh?
I can't tell you how I felt at that point in time, because I go from complete depression to, uh-oh, I think we might have done something good here.
Is that him? Don't know. Rifle on him. No, he's down.
He's rolling, Rich.
There he goes. He's going down the slope.
All right, I feel a little better.
We'll walk out.
How about that?
Down he goes. Well done, mate. Well done.
I was worried there.
Yeah.
It was a little low, but it was high enough, I guess, huh? All right, boys.
You still going? Woo! Well, I think we're going to be going out the bottom.
This was the animal that I came down to New Zealand that I really, really wanted to take home.
He's a good one. He's a good one, all right.
What do you think, Rich?
Oh, he's nice.
Yeah, he's excellent. Great job.
Got a good set of horns there, Buzz. So see he's got a good height in the front. Comes straight up in the front. A lot of the younger bulls start, coming over low, but he's going to be a 13+ bull. Be good to put the tape on him.
13 plus.
Good mass in the bottom.
And a good bull with a good bull period.
It was really a life achievement for him. He's had the opportunity to hunt Africa and across the United States, Canada and Alaska, but getting a tar with a bow, you could tell, was very high on his list of things to do, and he was rightfully proud. He should be very proud of that animal. It's a gorgeous animal. It's a huge, if you're into trophies, he's a huge trophy animal as well.
He ended up being 13.5 by their measurement standard here, so he's actually being scored right now. He could be in the top 5 or so shot with a bow. So that's my tar experience. It's just a super, super experience for me.
For Mark Broussard, traveling New Zealand, well, it was all about bagging a trophy tar with his bow. Now, on the other hand, all Mike Scobie wanted was a true alpine experience. And chasing a chamois at high altitude, well, that's exactly what he got.
I grew up in the Cascade Mountains of Washington, and I've dreamed of hunting mountain species my whole life. I put in for mountain goat, and sheep every year. And, the odds, as anybody knows, of drawing a sheep or a goat tag in the United States are next to impossible. They're very long odds. But I love that kind of environment. But to come here and get to hunt that alpine country and for a variety of species you don't find anywhere else.
Chamois are true cliff dwellers. They spend most of their time above the tree line, tucked into rocky crevices. They blend seamlessly into the rugged terrain, and they seldom let intruders approach. Scobie and Mitch, they're going to have to find one by scouting one crevice at a time. To increase his odds, Mike right here is increasing his firepower by carrying a Thompson Center Arms Pro Hunter. He's got it loaded up with some federal bonded 300 Win Magnums. Before they got too far up the mountain, Scobie got the alpine experience he'd been waiting for his whole life.
We were sort of walking up this creek bed, glassing around, saw the chamois that was just feeding not far out of the creek, and the noise of the creek and the wind was good. You know, we got in on it, didn't even know we were there.
It was just a perfect environment to put a stock on a chamois, so Mitch and I decided to go for him. And we snuck up to, there was a nice big boulder that was a good mark. We got right up behind there and came over the top of that boulder. Chamois was still there, 100 yards, bedded down, doesn't really see us. Just a really unique opportunity.
What we really want it to stand up, so if we'll just wait for him to stand up. I think he's looking at us now, so he should stand up. Just get ready.
This buck is doing what it instinctively does to survive.
There he goes, standing up. After several minutes, the chamois just laid there, finally got up, started walking up the shale hillside, and I got a perfect broadside shot at him. He's down, it looks like. That was cool. That was really neat. That was a beautiful animal in a beautiful setting. I mean, you just don't get country like this anywhere other than the Alps. And these animals are just right at home here. Very exciting hunt.
Oh,
That's a nice chamois.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, I'm a chamois expert. It's the first one I've ever shot. No, it's a unique hunt, something I've never got experience. Thank you again for taking me up here. Tell me a bit about these things. They're obviously native to Europe. And they've been brought down to New Zealand.
Yeah, through via England.
Yep.
And released here 100 years ago.
Yep.
And yeah, they've done pretty well.
And they find these mountains that we've been hunting just like home, probably.
They love the high alpine.
Yep.
Especially this rocky sort of country, the scree, rock scree. Yeah, looks to be about 7 years old. You can sort of tell the age by the growth rings.
Yep. And you said a very good one is a 9-inch type range.
Yeah, 9.5.
Yep.
Occasionally you get them 10 inches, but yeah, you know, that's a good representative.
And just raises.
Hey, to get the complete alpine experience, Mike gets to play Sherpa, and he gets to tote his trophy down the mountain.
If you like hunting goat species or some of the alpine species like that, it just really is a culmination of a great hunt.
Let's get in front here.
Closed captioning provided by 10-Point Crossbows, the mark of perfection. If you're gonna take a hunting trip all the way around the world, you better not skimp on gear. And I know my man Buzz didn't. And of course, when you're hunting in the mountains, Buzz, I've never been to New Zealand, but I know anytime you're hunting in the mountains, you better have the right clothing.
New Zealand, Michael, it's an amazing place. Now, we were there, it was winter time, but even at that, the temperature range could be anywhere from 60, 70 degrees down to 0 in our temps. So I wanted to make sure I had the right stuff. As you pointed out, it's a long trip. You don't want to show up there and have to shop someplace in New Zealand. God knows what they sell there. So the first item I wanted to make sure I had was some good rainwear. I picked Guide Series Tech 2.0. It's fairly lightweight, and if you're moving up and down from the base to the summit, you're completely waterproof. The stuff's awesome. It's breathable, and it's a great first piece for what I'd call moderate weather in that hunting situation. Waterproof, breathable wool. I mean, it's a tough challenge, but you're familiar with this. I think you've hunted that, and that's when you're not moving so much, or you're moving in bitter cold weather.
Sure.
Again, it's waterproof. It doesn't build up a lot of weight. Rain comes right off of it, and it is warm.
Well, I know you're playing a little string music out there.
I'll tell you, I love bow.
Is this it?
This is the bow. This is a right-handed version. This is about the bow I used. This is the best shooting bow in the country, probably the world. I'm not kidding you. I mean, it's rigged out, full-blown, parallel design. It's got a wicked little cam on it. The thing draws so smooth, and it whacked that tar pretty painless.
You the man. I tell you what, you bought the hammer on that joker. I know that.
You gotta have something that works in any light condition. I always shoot a true glow. A great sight out there, very quick adjustable. Got off the plane, set up, shot in, ready to go.
I love a pin sight too because they're just durable. They're simple and they're easy to fix if something tears up.
Broadhead wise, and they did the job.
Oh man.
I mean, I got lucky I had a short shot, but boom. Okay, there was more to the story than that.
Right.
He went down.
Well, you got me fired up, man. I think we need to go ahead and get a cart and fill it up. We need
Let's
to
do
go
it.
climb a tree somewhere, dude.
Let's do it.
Gander Mountains, We Live Outdoors with Michael Waddell is brought to you by Rocky. No matter where your hunt takes you, get geared up with Rocky boots and apparel at Gander Mountain. Scent Blocker, Scent Shield. Forget the wind, just hunt. Arctic Cat, more to go on. Real Tree Jerky. Don't leave home without Real Tree Jerky. Real Tree, family, friends, and the outdoors. Outdoor Expeditions, Gander Mountain's premier travel service.
Our television show, Gander Mountains, We Live Outdoors, that name choice was no accident. That's from the heart, from people that really feel that way, and it's tough to find great people in retail. But when you're in a sector of retail that has a market of such passion, and those people that like the outdoors and live that type of lifestyle, you know, we get retail people that really want to be a part of it, and that's our secret. What the company is composed of today is a bunch of people that live outdoors.
Be sure to join us next week because Mike and Buzz, they're going to continue their New Zealand adventure. Mike is chasing the famed red stag with his new 10-point crossbow. And Buzz, he'll be attempting possibly one of the most difficult stalks in all of hunting, and that's getting in bow range of the elusive chamois. When director Peter Jackson wanted a place to film the Lord of the Rings trilogy, he had to go halfway around the world to a place with exotic animals and landscapes. He chose New Zealand. Last week, you see, we began our fantasy of sorts with two Gander Mountain associates on their own expedition, pursuing big game in that same country.
It's a hunter's paradise. I know that's said often about New Zealand, but it's absolutely a fact. And Kiwi is the king of the outfitters down in these parts. And
join us right now for the conclusion of Mike Scobie's and Mark Bizarre's New Zealand big game hunts. It's coming up next on Gander Mountains We Live Outdoors with me, Michael Waddell. Gander Mountains, We Live Outdoors with Michael Waddell is brought to you by Evolved Habitat, building better wildlife. Stealth Cam, unrivaled scouting camera technology. Ameristep, quality hunting from the ground up. Buck Bomb, the Buck Bomb blows away traditional scents. Federal Premium Ammunition, every shot counts. Walker's Game Ear, the #1 choice for hearing protection and sound amplification. Smith & Wesson, a tradition of quality and innovation since 1852. I think it's a safe bet to say that some of the most challenging big game hunts in North America can all revolve around high altitude. Take the mountain sheep family, for instance. They're fun to hunt, they're a challenge, but we all know how hard it is to secure a tag to hunt those boogers. In New Zealand, however, it's a whole different story. You can hunt all kinds of animals that live in high altitudes just by making one phone call to Outdoor Expeditions. One of their clients is Kiwi Safaris on the South Island of New Zealand. Mike Freeman, he's the owner.
At Kiwi Safaris, we pride ourselves on the fact, as native-born New Zealanders, we can show off our hunting to the rest of the world. The hunting in New Zealand today is better than it's been in the last 30 to 40 years. In this valley, as well as hunting for tahr and chamois, we also hunt for the majestic red stags. As well as outstanding hunting, we also offer some of the finest accommodations for our clients that are to be found here in New Zealand.
We wouldn't be here without it.
Mike Scobie is the manager of Outdoor Expeditions, and on the second day of his hunt, he bagged his first European chamois with a Thompson Center rifle at 100 yards.
It was a beautiful animal and a gorgeous place to hunt him. I was very shocked when we arrived here and we started seeing all these white-capped mountains. It was a beautiful hunt, and thank you again for taking us out.
Mark Passard, or Buzz as he's known around the Gander office, is Scobie's partner on this trip. He scored a record book Himalayan tahr after a perfect spot and stalk with his bow.
How about that? Yeah, guys. Well done, Mike. Well done.
I was worried there.
Yeah.
It was a little low, but it was high enough, I guess, huh?
Yep, he's a good bull, Buzz. See, he's all bleached out.
Looks like a lion.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I think they're so pretty. As far as the goats, I don't know.
Now, with 2 days left, Buzz and Mike each have one more go on their New Zealand agendas.
All right, let's get it on.
For Buzz, it's chamois with a bow, and for Mike, it's the famed red stag with his new crossbow. We'll join their hunts when we return.
I think you might have Robin Hooded that one for you.
When Buzz and Scobie get together, it's always game.
Scobie, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to break your bolt, buddy.
Give it a try. Buzz and I get along really well. I mean, we work together. He is, definitely my boss at work, and he's a very, very work-oriented person.
Oh, that was a shot.
But outside of work, we get a chance to go fishing or hunting or something like that, there's really no work in it. It's just, we're friends and it's a lot of fun, and you get to hang out together and spend some good quality time in a hunting or fishing camp just like you would with any other friend that you have in the business.
Scobie is shooting a 10-point crossbow, and Buzz is shooting a Guide Series Tech Hunter Elite compound bow.
Look at that crossbow though, the penetration you get out of that.
Look at that, I sliced the fletch right off of my arrow. So, being idiots like we are, there's the target. I shot the first arrow high, and instead of shooting the target, our competitive stupidity, we try to break each other's arrow.
We pick up Mike's hunt late in the day. They've been searching for these majestic red stags, which are about the same size as a white-tailed deer, but these animals have tremendous antler potential.
Yeah, it's just, if we get up the top there, as they're coming, if they see any movement, they're going to spook. So.
In the southern Alps of New Zealand, red stag live in the lower elevations of the mountains, staying close to the cover. Hunting is done by intercepting herds at funnel areas along the bases of the steepest slopes.
Stags are all grouped up, and of course there's a lot of eyes there. It's pretty tough to actually stalk in on an animal. So if you can work out their feeding patterns and get set up in a hide, which we don't have actual permanent hides, because once you've shot out of one hide, they just don't go near it. So every day you sort of have to pick a different plan and get set up, and hopefully the right one will come close enough.
It's kind of a pinch point, just like we're hunting whitetails, except they've got a big mountain here, and there's some open agricultural fields back here. So they use this thick brush, which is real kind of spiky, and they kind of just real thorn brush. They work through this all the way up to the other area.
Man, they're hung up. Something ain't right.
When must have swirled around, they must have smelled us.
The second one's a nice bull.
Oh yeah, real nice bull. Got that, he's real non-typical. He's got a droopy brow tine and plenty of mass up top, a little drop point off one side. And he'd be a nice bull to get, but you know, we can come back. It's getting pretty late, so we might as well pack up. All your plans revolve around the deer's senses, so you know, you just have to do it right, because hey, once you spook the animal, you're not going to get another shot at them.
For me, I was going to use a crossbow, which was the first time for me. I've not done a lot of crossbow hunting in the past, but it was an opportunity to use a crossbow, where in the United States it's difficult in a lot of states to hunt with one.
Scobie shoot, you know, practice. I knew that it was good to 50 yards. I was pretty confident. They fed their way along the edge of the hill, coming this way. So if we get in position, if they do the same thing, we'll just wait for them to feed towards us.
You know, primarily you'd see these bulls, and they were feeding in between, you know, a lowland area, and then they go up to these high scrub brush mountainous areas during the day where they bed up and they provide a lot of cover. I mean, when they lay down in this thorn bush, you know, cover, you can't even see them.
And just like the night before, a bachelor group emerges from the brush. Bad news, the stags take the high path. Mike is thinking about taking the shot.
We try to judge what the client's like, what he's comfortable to shoot at. And if we think it's too far away, we definitely don't want to wound the animal. Say, no, look, just don't shoot. We'll get another opportunity.
Let's back out of here and see if we can refine them and get on them again.
Now it's a chase. These rarely work. Their only chance is to get down the mountain and set up ahead of them again.
My advice would be get fit. The more you can walk up and down hills, the more success you're going to have.
Just like a wolf tracking prey, Mitch intercepts the herd once again. Mike's last chance. It all happened so fast, no one's sure how good the shot was.
How exciting was that? Those bulls were coming in on us, and the winds changed. And you could hear them kind of starting to stampede just because the wind was swirling, and they all panicked. And they came right around behind us. It was too thick.
This deer right here, it doesn't look too injured, though. It could take a while to find this one, but it's still early in the day.
Doesn't look overly promising, but we definitely hit him, didn't we?
Yeah, it's gone straight through him somewhere. I think it went through a little low.
Yep. A little bit of blood on there.
Just a little bit. I know Scobie was getting a bit nervous. We saw that deer disappearing over a ridge, and he thought, hey, well, we might never find this thing, but hey, we know the properties pretty well.
This segment is brought to you by Buck Bomb. The Buck Bomb blows away traditional scents.
Well, we finally got her together. I'll tell you, it was quite a hunt. I mean, I made a less than perfect shot on him this morning. We let him bed down, came back in and put him down. But I'll tell you, it was a great hunt. It was not as exactly textbook as I wanted it, but when you look at this animal, you just go, wow, what an experience. I mean, I've never hunted stag before. It's the first time I've ever done that. And you just look at the mass on this thing, just the strength and size of them. There's an unreal animal.
This has got really good brow tines,
Yep.
nice and heavy timber, good length and a little twist out at the end. It's a unique feature. Good bay, tray tines, and then once you get up to this area, the crown out, you know, it can throw several points off the crown.
And this is what you guys traditionally look for in a mature stag, is this crowning palmation up on top.
Yeah, and like the Royal Red Stag is a 6x6.
Right.
There's 3 lower tines, the 3 up top, and if a Royal Red Stag, you should be able to put a nip of whiskey in the cup.
We're going to try that later tonight?
I don't think we'll put it on here though. but yeah, he's good and strong. He's got nice heavy timber.
Yep.
You know, it's what we would class as a high silver red stag.
Yep.
I mean, we did see a stag that would have gone gold, but hunting with the crossbow, we just, you know, we couldn't get close enough.
We've been chasing them around all morning. I mean, this guy's not the exception. There was a lot of nice bulls. I bet we saw 20 different animals this morning. Easily.
Oh, easy, yeah.
Very nice.
Well, while Mike and Mitch are looking for that tumbler of whiskey, Mark Bazard and Richard Jordan were there higher up in the mountains, attempting one of the most difficult feats in archery.
Now we're going to try to get close enough to a chamois to put an arrow in them. It's going to be tough. They do not let you get very close to them, and as you can see, we got a mountain range that goes on forever here. We're going to give it a go. We're going to head up here. These mountains are different from mountains I've been in America, in that they're jagged. The peaks are just wicked. There aren't any gradual walks down off of them, so you feel good about getting up there.
The chamois' native range is in the European Alps, where they've been hunted by kings and princes for thousands of years. Known as one of the most sure-footed of all the sheep family, they can run 50 kilometers per hour over broken ground. And once they're gone, they're gone.
He's not a bad animal either.
Spotted the chamois and grazing down a ridge in a good spot coming down to the creek.
When Richard and Buzz climbed into position, they actually slid past the chamois. If you look carefully, you can just see his head through the brush below.
25 yards away, you could just pick up a bit of its rump. And we were stuck there because we'd actually walked past.
Trying to find a shot for quite a while, and actually had this animal working in around 25, 30 yards from us, which has been great.
Draw. Stand up.
The animal bumped. Simultaneously, I moved up to get position on him, and he popped up on me at about 41 yards.
Range, 40.
You just think you don't make certain mistakes, and I made one right then and there. I let the arrow go a little quicker than I wanted to. Fortunately for us, the animal just spun around, and out of curiosity or fate, I'm not sure which, and stopped again.
38.
Huh?
38.
30?
38.
God, that's it. Yeah.
Just let it go.
Not sure that I hit him the first time, but definitely whacked him the second time. What a pretty critter.
Yeah,
Holy
definitely pretty.
cow.
Yeah.
Well done.
This one's a
Mate,
coat.
as you say. What a pretty guy.
Full winter coat.
Boy, they're pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty animal.
Familiar striping down the face with a white face. Dark chocolate coat.
Not the monster, but
no.
He's representative of the species, huh?
He's a representation of the species. He's, you know, he's got a fair bit of growing to do, but he's a pretty animal.
You can't shoot a world-class animal every single day with a bow.
Not every day, no.
A couple days in and we got them both down.
Yeah.
Can't ask for much more than that. I appreciate it.
Good
Great
shooting.
guy.
Good shooting. That's what matters. Can't come together unless you've got person that knows how to use a bow.
Closed captioning provided by 10-Point Crossbows, the mark of perfection.
Nice shot.
Dang. I was a little off to the left, but it kind of made me feel like Quigley down under right there one time.
She's shooting good. Let's give her another try.
Fun, dude.
Yep, just keep them close to the rail there and just all the way back. Perfect.
Right on, man.
Nice shot.
You know, I hadn't shot these crossbows a whole lot, but I know it looked like you was having a good time over there
Yeah,
in New Zealand.
They're new to me. I've played with them over the years like you, but I haven't done a lot of hunting with them. That was the first experience of actually taking an animal with one. They're a lot of fun.
Well, I know there's seasons all across the country now starting to come in just for crossbows.
You know what I was so impressed with them is that, I mean, they shoot great, but they're still like hunting with a bow. They're tough.
Right.
You got to get in the same kind of range. I mean, 40 yards and under to really get a good ethical shot.
Well, you know, it's funny, a lot of people now, they're starting off in more seasons, but a lot of times crossbows were thought of just to be for like a physically challenged hunters, but man, they're a lot of fun just to get out there. Even if you're a bow hunter, get out there and get you one, man, it's fun.
Lots of states are saying you can use them for, you know, during the gun season. Anybody, general, can use them in the gun season. And a lot of states are coming up with them in the archery season as well. So.
And what I like about them, hey, if you get somebody out there in the woods hunting and enjoying what we love, I don't care if it's a bow, crossbow, rifle, or muzzleloader, get out there and enjoy it, because it's a lot of fun. And I'm kind of aggravated that my last shot was just out of the bullseye.
That one's in there. Yeah, they've got a lot of built-in safety on that one. You notice this one, you actually cannot dry fire if there's not a bolt in there. It's got a safety deal there, and then it's got a double safety on the back. So it's really an inherent safe machine.
Well, I know this one we're manually cocking, but I know they got some that you can actually reel them up. And
this one right here, you can take that out and you actually put that unit on there for the hand.
To reel it right in.
Yep, cocking it.
Well, I know the performance in these things, they're accurate, and they actually got plenty enough kinetic energy to pass through. I mean, whether it be an elk, caribou.
They do over 300 feet a second.
A stag.
About 150-pound pull there. You notice that when you're cocking it. They're definitely a lot of weight there, and they've got good kinetic energy, and you use them for about anything.
All right, $20. This next one's in a dot.
All right.
You even got $20?
I have to.
You probably spend it all over there, and by the time you ship your stag back, you probably spend it over there in New Zealand. Here we go.
That one's in there.
There you go. Sign me up for the Olympics.
Gander Mountains, We Live Outdoors with Michael Waddell is brought to you by Rocky. No matter where your hunt takes you, get geared up with Rocky boots and apparel at Gander Mountain. Scent Blocker, Scent Shield. Forget the wind, just hunt. Arctic Cat, more to go on. Real Tree Jerky. Don't leave home without Real Tree Jerky. Real Tree, family, friends, and the outdoors. Outdoor Expeditions, Gander Mountain's premier travel service.
You know, as far away as it is, one of the things I noticed about New Zealand is how similar the culture is to ours right here in the US of A. But I'll tell you one thing, them Kiwi, they sure do speak a peculiar brand of English, if that's what they call it.
You know, they come to the other side of the world, different culture, different people, but in a way, New Zealand and the US are very much the same, and they just fit in fine. You know, they're hell of a nice jokers, and we get on so well with them.
Oh, look at it! I mean, it's incredible how often that happens.
Next week, we're going to slow things down a little bit. Spend some quality time with our favorite fisherman, Al Linder.
How is that for a smallmouth bass, huh?
It's a day on the water with the king of freshwater fishing on Gander Mountains. We Live Outdoors. He's one of the most respected anglers in America. He and his brother started a tackle company, invented the Lindy rig, founded the End Fisherman Network, and made products like Rapala and Fireline household names. On a recent fall day near his hometown of Brainerd, Minnesota, Al Linder shared a side of himself that few have ever seen. He wasn't out to teach or host an episode or nothing like that. He was just out fishing and talking to us about success on the water.
There's no such thing as the fish ain't biting.
Recreation.
There isn't a day that goes by, ever, that I don't think something about fishing, talk to somebody about fishing, read something about fishing.
Business.
What I really like to do is do television fishing shows. I enjoy producing outdoor programming.
How to live.
Well, integrity, is something that I consider important, and your word meaning, having a meaning.
And Al being Al, he couldn't help revealing his secrets for catching giant late-season smallmouth.
And you wear them out on one bait, you come back through with another bait, and bango, bango, you get 1 or 2 more fish. Oh, look at that. I mean, it's incredible how often that happens. Just incredible. Oh!
Gander Mountains, We Live Outdoors with Michael Waddell is brought to you by Evolved Habitat, building better wildlife. Stealth Cam, unrivaled scouting camera technology. Ameristep, quality hunting from the ground up. Buck Bomb, the Buck Bomb blows away traditional scents. Federal Premium Ammunition, every shot counts. Walker's Game Ear, the #1 choice for hearing protection and sound amplification. Smith & Wesson, a tradition of quality and innovation since 1852.
Well, he's been on TV every single year since 1969. You got to realize that's even longer than Saturday Night Live. It's also estimated he's done over 1,000 fishing segments during that time. Today, he still spends over 200 days on the water filming TV shows. So, leads us to the question, what does Al Linder do on his day off? Yep, he goes fishing. At Linder Media Productions, even on a day off, there's always some last-minute details to deal with.
Al, we gotta take care of some business before you leave. I spend as little time as possible in the office. I'm only there when I gotta be there, and I'm gone after that.
Gonna go fishing now?
Yes.
Good.
Got plenty of time to get bit this afternoon. You gotta keep your priorities. You can't let work get in the way of a good bite of fish. Today I'm going to a lake that I every once in a while fish when I want to catch a big smallmouth. And people that know me know smallmouth is my favorite fish. Hey, all fish make predictable seasonal movements. Got it! And in this case, we're fishing for smallmouth bass in late fall. That means sharp drop-offs with rocks on it. The good news is that a few of the best spots are out of the wind this time of year. That's a good thing. Now it becomes a quick process of elimination. When you get on those fish, those big smallmouth now, you find the depth range that they're at. My guess is they're gonna be between 14 and 20. The few that I'm seeing are just little bumps on the bottom. Usually a pretty good indicator that they're not exactly, really, really aggressive when they're like that. I expect it to be bit already. This is gonna be one of those grinders, man. Boy, it was a real surprise when I didn't get bit on the first spot. I worked it shallow down all the way into about 40 feet of water. Usually the fish were there. I don't know the answer to that. I'm supposed to know the answer to that, aren't I? I don't. When this happens, I start going through the process of elimination, but I do expect it to get just a little bit better. I went through a couple areas of the lake that have access to deep water with rocks and just started changing presentations. There's always an answer. There's no such thing as the fish ain't biting. I'm not kidding either. I don't believe that.
Now for you and I, there is such a thing. But with guys like Al, they've always found a way to eliminate bad water and bad baits quickly. Basically, it all comes down to solving the riddle.
There, got him. Finally. Fish was pretty far up, boy. I put down that tube and hair jig, and I put on a big roller jig. Oh yeah, nice one. Big brownie, boy, one of them really big ones. Look at that. Whoa, man, that's, oh, my jig back, baby. All else fails, put on a roller jig and get on the ledge.
For a guy who fishes for a living, it's kind of hard to tell when old Al Linder is on the clock, because most of the time, heck, he's on the lake.
Well, we're kind of at the end of the season, and most of our shows are shot. The guys are in the editing suites, you know, editing everything that we had shot, putting it together, and there's times that I don't have a lot to do for a couple days. I might have to come in and do a voiceover.
Fish become conditioned to repeatedly seeing every standard-sized bait in a tackle box.
You know, take a look at the storyline. Is it, you know, is it right? And then I take off for a day or half a day or so, go and do some fun fishing for a while until they need me back in the office. But the bite is not fast and furious, at least yet. Although when you're catching big ones, I don't really care. That's the reason I like the small fish. Get out of here. Little one, I think. Let's see what I got here. No, she's a good one. Ha! Whew. Now she's coming together. Look at that. Whew. Boy, that's hefty. I gotta say, they're in 10 to probably 14 feet of water. I'll throw this roller jig back and forth a few times, then I'll come back through the same water with that hair jig and tube. The philosophy that I personally have on fishing, I want to generally catch the most fish the fastest way I can. And I don't care to put in time to chase these massive giant fish that could be a record fish. That's of no interest to me. If it happens, fine. I'm not going to go out there and fish from 2 to 6 in the morning and go for 10, 12 hours a day throwing giant baits day and night to catch a big fish. I'd rather do this anytime. I would much sooner do this. Look at this, another good one, boy. Oh, this ain't a record fish, but it surely isn't a dink, let me clue you. I love doing this because I get bit a lot.
For folks who live in the Brainerd Lakes area, well, owl sightings, they're pretty common. All they do is look for a sole angler wearing a red rain suit and a red lung casting along the brake lines.
I don't get confused on what to do when I have the free time. When I have free time, you're seeing me do what I'm doing now. I don't have to go through those mixed emotions. Should I go in the woods today? Do I go to the deer stand? Do I get the duck boat ready? For me, it's real simple. Hook up the boat and go, baby.
Watching this guy work, it's easy to see how he keeps his passion for the sport alive. His concentration level is off the mount. His eyes constantly moving from growl to water to rod tip, and he's always thinking.
Oh, man. Oh, I can't catch up to him. Whoa. Constantly paying attention to what that rod is doing and the feel of that bait in the water. God, another one of those really... And sometimes in cold water, all of a sudden you lose the feel, and I just set the hook. I didn't even know I had a bite. Something felt different. You're loving it, ain't you? I throw the tube, I throw the drop shot, I throw the hair, I get nothing, nothing, nothing. I put the football jig on, and you, oh! You seen the fish. I had the fish. And I learned over the years when something feels different, jerk, and you'll be surprised at how many times it's a fish.
Every good fisherman that I've ever known in my life, no matter what they fish for, over a period of time have been able to kind of wipe the water away in your mind and envision what you're fishing, where that lure is at on a structure, and how the fish are responding to it. And when you get your mind around your electronic units and see the depth to the rock, to the structure, sometimes bait and fish, it becomes an easy thing for you to just eliminate that water and actually visualize where those fish are at and what they're doing. It takes time, but every good fisherman I know can do that. Another factor that came into play, wind is kicking up. I got in a little more open water on the lake here, a little more exposed to the wind, a little bit of cloud cover kicked in, and it seemed to kick the fish up a little bit, and that's a good thing. Oh, man, I got him. Oh, whoa. Oh, wow. Wow. Come on, Mama. Come on, Mama. Whoa. Come on, Mama. Oh, she's blowing. Whoa! Whoa. Boy, this is a big fish, boy. She's a strong one. There you go. Now you had it. You know, there was another fish down there with it. Ouch! There. Oh, mackerel. She ate that dude up. Are they good-looking fish this time of the year? You know, there's no marks on them. Starting to really pork out for the fall bite. Look at that. All right, baby. Go back home. Whew! Man, you know, I've been fortunate enough to make a living in the fishing industry my entire life. Most of it's been in the media end of our business, doing television shows like this, educational DVDs, magazines, radio shows. And my whole career was based on one simple belief: teaching people how to find and catch more fish. When that happens, they enjoy the sport more and they keep going out on the water. 35 years has proven that philosophy's right. I wore these fish out from the looks of it. Did pretty good there for a pass. They were really eating this thing. I'm going to throw something just a little bit different. Instead of a bottom bouncing bait, I'm going to throw one of these suspending baits. I know the fish are here. I know I'm fishing fish. Yeah, a good 100-yard section of drop-off here's got a lot of fish. You know, sometimes we complicate fishing where I think we scare the angler off. And I've never really seen a complicated fishing situation. Once I get bit and understand what the fish were doing, it's really, really simple, and it's not a difficult thing to do. The key is always to think in terms of the fish, the environment or the structure that he's using, and what are the best baits for me to use in these conditions. I know that sounds like it could be complicated, but once you program your mind to think that way, you'll answer every fishing challenge you'll ever face on the water for any kind of fish that swims. Got him. Got one. Got him. Oh, whoa. You know, I came back through. Well, I caught some nice fish on this ledge, so I said, let me tie on a suspended jerkbait a little bit. So I put on a small husky jerk, a deep diving X-Rap rather, and mango. I mean, I just threw it for a couple minutes and well, look at how dark that fish is. Yeah, sometimes in that cold water, the suspending bait like that works really good. I might have to throw this a little bit more. I thought I'd come back through here and then I was gonna go back up again and throw that roller jig, but I gotta get this a little more time. That took about 3 casts and it was a bite. But you'd be surprised at how many times on a school of fish, you work a school of fish with every one of those baits. You know, and you wear them out on one bait, you come back through with another bait, and bango, bango, you get 1 or 2 more fish. Oh, look at that. I mean, it's incredible how often that happens. Just incredible. Oh, just incredible, man. Look at that. That, folks, was really a good call. There, look at that. One thing about those Rapalas, they hook, boy, do they hook. Got hooks in him everywhere. The hooks are like needles. Look at that. Huh? How you doing, guy? Get him back. That was really, this is a good call. I'm gonna go back up with this jerkbait through here. Great example of what I was talking about.
Now this was supposed to be a casual day off for Al, but because of all these fish he's catching, he's turning back into, you know, a fishing show host.
Hosting a television show for 30-something years, to me, it's, I don't know what else to do. When we sold In Fisherman a number of years ago, my wife asked me, she said, what are you going to do with your life? What do you want to do? I didn't have to work anymore. I was financially secure. And I said, what I really like to do is do television fishing shows. I enjoy producing outdoor programming. I like to do it. I like hosting a fishing show. And she says, might as well keep doing it. So that's what I'm doing. Oh man. Whoa. Oh, what a fish. Oh, man. Oh, wait till you see this baby. Oh, this one is what I would refer to as a King Kong. Oh boy, what a fish. Oh, when you see this one. How is that for a smallmouth bass, huh? This is truly a big, big brown bass by anybody's standards anywhere in a country. When you start catching smallmouth like that, it's as good as it gets, baby.
Well, there ain't no way I can argue with that, Al.
That was fun.
Closed captioning provided by 10-Point Crossbows, the mark of perfection.
Big smallie. Might be the biggest fish that I had today. Really big, big old sow. Big old sow, baby. Whew. Well, it really made a difference by changing up on those baits. It really did. This afternoon, it got a little bit cloudy, a little bit windier, and it seemed the fish went from the bottom baits to that suspended jerk bait. Keep an open mind and don't ever, ever, ever get stuck on one bait, or you ain't gonna catch the amount of fish you should be catching.
In the end, it's really not how long you've been on TV that matters. It's really about how you're respected. And there's no doubt that in the last 38 years, no one is more respected in the outdoor industry than Al Linder. And at Gander Mountain, as well as myself, we're very honored to have him in our family.
Hey, the baits that I'm using today are easy to find. They're available in any good sporting goods store like the Gander Mountain I'm in today. They're not really secret baits. They're baits that are common, like the X-Rack. Hey, when it comes to cold water smallmouth fishing, the key thing to keep in mind is keep it simple. Deep water fishing, a football head jig with a saber-tail grub on the back. You can fish this effectively as deep as 50 feet of water and catch smallies. Day in and day out, when it comes to smallmouth fishing, a tube on the back of a jig head is as simple as it gets. A bait that's often overlooked is a marabou jig. This can be deadly. The colder the weather is, the colder the water is, smallmouth like marabou jigs. And you can fish them anywhere from 8 to 50 feet of water and they'll put fish in the boat for you. Last but not least, the down deep husky jerk. In cold water, smallmouth suspend a lot. And this baby will definitely put fish in the boat. It made a big, big difference on today's trip. Love the bait.
Gander Mountains, We Live Outdoors with Michael Waddell is brought to you by Rocky, no matter where your hunt takes you, get geared up with Rocky boots and apparel at Gander Mountain. Scent Blocker, Scent Shield. Forget the wind, just hunt. Arctic Cat, more to go on. Real Tree Jerky. Don't leave home without Real Tree Jerky. Real Tree, family, friends, and the outdoors. Outdoor Expeditions, Gander Mountain's premier travel service.
Hey, yeah, you know, it's really been great spending a day in a boat with you. I was going to talk to you a little bit, just share from my heart some of the things that make me tick. You know, things that you don't normally see on an angling edge type television show that is such hard education. But the fish kind of got me in a mood, and I had to share my heart, which is teaching people how to catch fish. I just can't help it.
Just like Al Linder wants to be on the water 24/7, I want to be on the tundra chasing caribou 24/7. So next week, join me in Quebec, raising cane with a bunch of my good buddies from Gander Mountain. In an earlier episode, we showed you the beginning of a great caribou hunt in Quebec. Working out of Safari Nordic Outfitters, my friends and I stuck several big bulls in 2 days.
Yeah, what an awesome stock that was.
But this right here is a party hunt, and we've got 2 more tags and 2 more days to fill them.
If we don't get one, it ain't because we didn't give no college try.
See what it's like to hunt with the premier outfitter in the premier region for caribou.
Man, it's the best experience I've ever had hunting.
And join a bunch of Gander Mountain goofballs toting big guns on the grassland. On Gander Mountains, we live outdoors with me, Michael Waddell.
I love to feel you in the heat of night. I'm alone again without you.
Gander Mountains, We Live Outdoors with Michael Waddell is brought to you by Evolved Habitat, building better wildlife. Stealth Cam, unrivaled scouting camera technology. Ameristep, quality hunting from the ground up. Buck Bomb, the Buck Bomb blows away traditional scents. Federal Premium Ammunition, every shot counts. Walker's Game Ear, the #1 choice for hearing protection and sound amplification. Smith & Wesson, a tradition of quality and innovation since 1852.
When me and the boys broke caribou camp last August after spending about 6 days in the bush, now we were tired, but we were all happy. And that's because out of our group of 6, we had all filled 2 caribou tags apiece. We all had some big racks and we had enough caribou meat to pretty much feed an army. That is really what makes caribou hunting so much fun. You can easily, when things go right, in a week experience more action than you could experience the whole rest of the fall. Now getting to caribou camp, well, that's an adventure in itself. We all met in Montreal. From there, a series of shuttle buses and small planes will get us to the northeast corner of Quebec and our own little camp on Lake May.
This is going to be a fun camp. I mean, I knew it was. After we kind of got to know each other, we cut it up a little bit. When we were leaving Montreal, I knew that everybody there, a lot of us were close to the same age, and And even Nick Munt, the camera guy who was going with us, he was a good friend of mine, so I knew we was going to have a lot of laughs, and any tags that we feel was going to be icing on the cake for this group.
Yes, sir, we got to, like a roller coaster ride in the back country of Quebec. Like a clan of crazy brothers, my Gander Mountain friends and I made every leg of this trip fun. We have Mike Curry, he's the pro staff manager, Nick Chado, who worked for Outdoor Expeditions, Eric Vanderhoof, who's a regional manager, and cameraman Nick Munt, who you can't see right now, well, because he's working.
But anytime you're going out of the country, you got to make sure you got your P's and Q's together, and that's why, Outdoor Expeditions, what they do as far as planning, communicating with the outfitter that they're representing there, it makes a big difference. And when you go on those trips, it takes a lot of worry off of you when you get to customs and things like that.
Okay, you tell me your name, I'm probably going to forget it, but I'm Michael. Okay, nice to meet you. Dan. Because there's a big shower of rain coming there. If you guys want to head down to the camp, keep yourself dry. We're going to come around with the four-wheeler, pick everything up and bring it all down.
We booked with Safari Nordique, one of the most respected outfitters in Canada. They run over 30 camps between Hudson Bay and the Baffin Sea, in the heart of caribou country.
This was my first time to Safari Nordique, and heard a lot of good things about them. What I loved about this hunt, it was pretty much a guaranteed move, which means if you got to camp, you wasn't seeing caribou, you can picked up in a float plane and you would be moved to a camp that they felt like caribou would be coming through, which is a big deal if you're going to be spending 5-6 days out in the bush, because this country out here in the northern bush of Quebec is real vast, real desolate, and you could really sit there for weeks on end and just look at rocks and a little bit of grass and moss flying by, because if the caribou are not migrating through that time of year, you're just stuck in a camp that nothing's happening. But that wasn't going to happen with Safari Nordique. We were definitely going to be on caribou.
Finally got it turned out.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I didn't know it turned into a bear hunt.
Settling in didn't take long at all, and by breakfast the next morning, we're all like a bunch of kindergartners on their first day of school. And I tell you right now, somebody better find me a caribou pretty soon, or I might just have an accident.
This segment is brought to you by Arctic Cat. More to go on.
Our first 3 days at May Lake Camp, well, they had been so busy and had went by in a blur. We had timed the migration perfectly. There weren't any huge herds, but small packs of caribou were drifting through all around our camp. And each day, we'd jump in the boat, cross May Lake, and be on more caribou.
It just couldn't have been any better. I mean, the weather was great. We had some sun, we had some clouds, we had a little bit of rain. Caribou were moving.
It's funny, most of the time I'm just so disappointed when I miss, but we were having so much fun that I really wasn't that bothered.
Something almost like something shot at that bull. Like it scared him or something. I ain't shooting. I'm for real. Have I got on my Man. There's not hope unless there's an arrow in there, folks. I'm scared of a lot of things. Shooting ain't one of them.
It wasn't easy, though. We had some tough stalks. And some very uncooperative bulls. But after 3 days, everyone in camp had at least one trophy, either by gun or bow. I was kind of insistent on getting my first caribou with a bow, so I had to work pretty hard to get close enough.
Eric. I'm exhausted, man. Hey, but we live outdoors. Ah! Whoa! He's out, son. Look at this.
Look at this, Brother Nick. Pretty. He's white, he got good tops on him.
I feel like I worked.
Mostly, though, we were just having fun around camp. We really didn't have to get up that ridiculously early, so we played a lot of cards. We even had a birthday party. We swore Mike Curry had to be turning 70.
They said you were 70.
I'm actually 53, not 69, not 70.
Yeah, right, Mike. With the staff and all the guests, it was like a big rowdy family, and that's what hunting camp should be.
I think she said ice.
Yeah, I said
By the fourth day, pretty much everybody in camp had filled out except for Nick Munt and me. So to increase my odds, I'm bringing along the heavy artillery.
This thing has been everywhere. This is the roving We Live Outdoor smackdown specialist right here.
This Thompson Center Pro Hunter has already knocked down a few racks on this trip. So right now, I'm just lining her up on the target. And lucky thing I did, because somewhere along the way, she got knocked off site.
That's definitely the first one. That's the second one.
Ooh! Well, she's sighted in, and Eric Vanderhoof has her all shined up for me, so I think I'm out of excuses.
I'm greased up. I'm ready to caribou hunt. I don't know if I want Vital Shock. I want Federal Premium Guaranteed no miss. We need to go to corporate and get that straight. We need to let them know that. So I'm sure if we miss, it's probably not us. We're gonna see if we can get it done, man. It's not a lot of caribou around right now. It's gotten colder, so we're hoping to get them moving. Maybe we get a new batch in, but we're gonna spend all day looking for them. Got sandwiches in the pack, something to drink. If we don't get one, it ain't because we didn't give no college a try. Man, we've had an unbelievable couple days up here at Safari Nordeep. Early August, and it's been kind of wild because the caribou have not just been up and moving and migrating a lot. The first day, that's what we got into. The last few days, the caribou have actually been staying in one spot a lot more, milling around. It's been a lot warmer, feeding, things like that, so we've had to do a lot more spot and stalk, find the caribou either bedded down or just hanging out feeding and making the stalk.
Kiwi, Eric, and I were back on the tundra, and we wasn't seeing much of anything. I was really starting to lose hope of filling that sack of tag.
Seemed to me that the caribou had pretty much left our area. Everything had left and went south. We were hoping to pick up some more from the north, but the last day and a half had been really slow.
Knowing caribou like I do, when they move on, they're gone. Since it was the last day of our hunt, we couldn't move to another camp either.
It was going to be tough. The caribou had slowed down a lot. The hot weather, I guess, had made them just kind of a little bit more lackadaisical and made them move a lot less. We just saw a pretty good group of caribou going down through here.
And I can tell you right now, when camp manager Rick Shatler came all the way across May Lake to notify us that he saw another herd, man, it got me pumped up.
These caribou were taking an angle on us, and even though we were really in a trot for at least a mile, we were all sucking wind and sweating and just almost exhausted, toting the cameras, the gun, the bow, and pretty much every bit of equipment we had back at camp we had on us, and we just couldn't make ground on these caribou. And I knew right away it wasn't gonna happen with the bow. We had to take the gun. We finally got just enough angle on this herd that was moving south, kind of angling away from us. Right with me. And I looked up and this caribou was laying on his side. He was out, and I was pumped. I knew I'd shot a good bull. I had every little bit of piece of equipment I owned on my back, And look, it resulted in about a 300-something yard shot at a big old nice caribou. Look at this. Check this out. What a bull. And check it out right here. Let me make sure this gun, break it open here. Oh, lucky shell there, and it was lucky. Check this out, Ricky. I didn't notice this. I heard it smack. That bullet went through. Because he flopped around when I hit him. The bullet went through and caught him in the rack right there. Unbelievable.
Good shot.
Thank you, buddy.
Good job.
I've had a blast, man. Big, nice, gnarly, wide caribou. And even though I love to bow hunt, this had been an unbelievable rifle hunt. I had so much fun, a lot of camaraderie. That's what hunting's about too. Big old velvet bulls.
This segment is brought to you by Realtree, family, friends, and the outdoors.
Now, I used to be a cameraman, and I know from experience it ain't often that a cameraman ever gets to hunt. This place was different, however. The caribou were plentiful, and everybody had gotten their chance. Safari Nordique wants everyone in camp to experience what it's like, so Nick was honored to get a chance at a bull. I've known Nick many years, and when he's not hunting with a camera, he's hunting with his own bow or rifle. Once he's on game, there's no stopping this dude. I knew there was a big shooter bull in this group of caribou when we first spotted them. Now he's missing.
This one was in trouble, son. Good shot.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, last day. I've been following people around all week. Finally get my chance. Thank you, Ricky.
Good job.
That's awesome.
Good job.
That is a sweet bull. He's a real pretty bull. Nice, pretty top. So that tops off a great hunt for me. One with a bow, one with a gun.
There you go.
Thanks, Ricky. Oh, that was fun, Ricky.
That was a good shot.
This is my first trip caribou hunting. Oh man, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on top on this one.
Good job.
The old TC, it lays it on them, baby.
Good job.
Thanks,
real
man.
Nice bull.
Look at there.
Good shot.
Oh, that's pretty. Woo. I'm not from Georgia, but you count him up Georgia style. He's got at least 30 points on him. That is killer right there. That's so much fun. There's just so many animals up here. And when they're really moving, I mean, you can't believe the numbers. You just can't believe it. And then we had a couple of slow days. It got real nice and warm and almost too hot to be wearing rain gear, but you kind of have to wear rain gear out here because it's so moist.
Yeah, it is.
And I'll tell you what, just can't ask for a better hunt. And you guys have just done a great job, Ricky. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, you know,
Them single shots and them Thompson centers, you want to make them count.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to keep reloading.
So all your fitness training done you good on that run.
I know it. Yeah, all them biscuits and sausages and gravy I ate in Georgia before I came up here really paid off.
Yeah. I'm gonna call it meat wagon now.
What a hunt this has been. Safari Nordique, we've had more fun up here. All the Gander Mountain guys, Eric Vanderhoof, Mike Curry, Nick, and it's just been awesome. Nick Munt, my pal, he's been up here running camera, and we've just had more fun. We've had so much fun, we almost feel guilty, but we don't. We've had a good time because we live outdoors, and this is what it's all about right here. And that's what's so cool about hunting, man. It brings out so much emotion. You know, you're so excited, that adrenaline rush that comes after success. I mean, you can't match it anywhere. I mean, I played sports, I've done everything. The experience of being successful in the field is just top notch. There's nothing better.
This segment is brought to you by Buck Bomb. The Buck Bomb blows away traditional scents.
And you got to remember, anytime you're talking about North Country, you need a lot of different gear, and you need the right gear because it can be brutal. The elements can be really tough. The temperatures there can change drastically. Obviously, you're always in potential rainy situations, and it can be 30 degrees one morning, and then you can wake up the next day and it be 80 degrees, so you never know. Bugs can be a huge problem up in that Canadian Quebec country right there, and a bug suit is very handy to put in because a lot of times it's really warm. You can throw that bad boy on as a layer, and as you can see, if you've got a good camo garment, that'll blend right through. But I'm gonna wait because I think I saw this thing in Realtree right over here, but a good bug suit is something you really need. As far as ammo, obviously we're shooting Federal Premium, and I have shot these nozzler bullets for a while now and really like them. You know, caribou, you're talking 250, 300 pound animal, sometimes even heavier. This is a 180 grain nozzle partition, guaranteed to get good penetration, pretty much a guaranteed pass through, and plenty expansion on an animal that size. And obviously this is the gun that we chose to bring to Quebec with us. We brought a 300 Winchester mag and this Thompson Center Pro Hunter. This one has a thumb hole stock. You can get them in a lot of different stock variations. But the reason we brought this gun to Canada was because it's simple and it's durable and it's very accurate. And that's what you need when you're looking for something to fill a tag, especially a valuable tag like a caribou. Yes, sir. And really, I can't say enough or say thank you enough to Safari Nordique. Man, they treated us like family up there, and we were right smack dab in the middle of caribou country.
Gander Mountains, We Live Outdoors with Michael Waddell is brought to you by Rocky. No matter where your hunt takes you, get geared up with Rocky boots and apparel at Gander Mountain. Scent Blocker, Scent Shield. Forget the wind, just hunt. Arctic Cat, more to go on. Realtree Jerky. Don't leave home without Realtree Jerky. Realtree, family, friends, and the outdoors. Outdoor Expeditions, Gander Mountain's premier travel service.
For me, it was cool to have everybody there. Caribou hunting is cool because you can go and kind of party hunt. You got your buddies right there with you, and we were just so excited. Everybody's rooting each other on, and it was cool to high-five with Eric and Kiwi and all the guides, and Nick came down, and just, you know, just to be there with my buddies when I got this caribou. So many times you're hunting by yourself, and that's what's so cool about hunting, man. It brings out so much emotion. You know, you're so excited, that adrenaline rush that comes after success. I mean, you can't match it anywhere. I mean, I played sports, I've done everything. The experience of being successful in the field is just top notch. There's nothing better.
Next week, we're on a deer hunt for all the right reasons. As a Gander Mountain associate and his friends give up their precious hunting time to help a couple of kids bag their first deer.
Nice work.